Hey everyone. Before I get on with the explanation, there are a few things that I need to address. One are the comments that keep saying that I forgot how did we get here, or I even got a comment saying that I forgot to mention in the title that it was Thunderless. So let me explain to you why I did not forget any achievements or advancements for those of you that don't know. Now the version that my task is in 1.11.2. Advancements were added into the game in 1.12.2 over here. And I'm going to demonstrate this by showing you how they work. So we go into the world in 1.11.2, and if I try to give myself every single achievement or advancement, pay attention to the command syntax here. So there's no sound, and only one achievement pops up whenever I get all of them. And pay attention to this UI here. You can see, take attention to the background. It's kind of like ores and bedrock as you go deeper. And then compare it. There's no tabs. It's just this pointless Minecraft button. And then try going into here, into 1.12.2, and try giving yourself every single advancement here. And you can hear the sound. You can get the recipes. Get goal reach challenge complete. You keep getting sounds. And pay attention to the UI again. You have different tabs here, and they are fundamentally different achievements and advancements. And this is where How Did We Get Here was added. This is the first version that How Did We Get Here was added in 1.12. Versus here, there is nothing. And this is the version that my task is in without any of these. And if you want to see a task where it gets all of these advancements, I recommend you check out Andrew FPL's task. It's an amazing task. I helped work on it. He would greatly appreciate the support. Even though most of you have probably already seen it, I'd still recommend giving it a watch and drawing comparisons. So with that out of the way, let's get on to the explanation. I forgot to mention that another quirk of achievements and advancements is that advancements you can do them in any order, but achievements you have to follow this arrow diagram. For example, if I remove the achievements, you can clearly see that this requires benchmarking, this requires getting wood, and this requires taking inventory, versus in 1.12, can't type. I have nothing here, but I can still get, how do we get here? For example, I can get How Do We Get Here without having a Furious Cocktail, local brewery, or any of this. Even though for all intents and purposes, it's practically impossible, but it's still possible to get How Do We Get Here without having any of these versus here. So that's another major difference. So another thing that I want to mention before I get on to the explanation is how I actually found the seed. I used this program called Cubiomes Viewer. I won't explain how to use it, but these were basically my conditions. It was basically just another fortress within 100 blocks of the world origin, and then a village within, I think it's within 100 blocks of the fortress that's at the origin, a pyramid which I didn't use in the task, and then the rest of the biomes within 2,000 blocks, and then a plains village or savanna village, and then spawn within that. So I eventually found this seed, which looks like this on Cubiomes. You can see you have the village, or you have the village, you have the desert temple, and then over here's where the stronghold is. Notice these set of biomes, which will become important later, which is just the mesa biomes, the swampland, the root forest. And then there's the cold biomes up here, along with the taiga biomes and mushroom biomes, and then the extreme hills and stone beach and birch forest biomes down here. So with that, I also found one of the reasons why I also found this seed was just because if you guys have ever seen Mark Lucas's task in 1.9.4, the original seed was found by Schnitty, and it wasn't found for tasking. And of course, my principal, along with another tasker that you may know, Andrew, or Andrew FPL, our principals are basically just don't use the same seed as RTA speedruns, because most of the time they're not going to be fully optimized. So that's why we tend to find our own seeds using a program like Cubiomes. So now with that, let's get into the start of the run. So I spawn right here. Right, yeah, I spawn right here. And then there's this block behind me. And you can actually spawn pretty far out. You can spawn like on top of the church on some attempts. I've spawned on top of the fence here. But I choose to spawn under this tree, which is almost the limit to how far you can spawn. So with that, I turn around. And then I start mining this plank. And you'll notice that the first thing I do is that I don't immediately open my inventory to get the taking inventory achievement like that, because that wastes 2 ticks. And if I'm gonna use those 2 ticks on something, it's gonna be, well, I'm trying to do something else or do something useful, not just trying to waste 2 ticks for the achievement. So while I'm waiting for that, I get this plank over here, put it in the chest, and then I take the items out. And then you'll notice that they just suddenly appear again. And this is going to be one of the most common glitches used in the TAS. It's the main duplication glitch. So how that works is that you have an item, and that you can either drop it on the ground or have it inside a tile entity that's not an ender chest, such as like a chest or furnace. And then, so I'm just going to use it on the ground. So you have it on the ground, and then you save and quit the world. You reload it. And then once you pick the item back up or grab it from the chest, then that's when you alt F4. Since I'm on Forge, the glitch won't actually work. But luckily, the mod that we have, Low Task, programmed by Pancake and Scribble, allows you to duplicate items by using these buttons, and patches the feature, well, patches the glitch back into the game. So instead of doing it all F4, because that won't work on Forge, you drop the item, you save it, and then you wait until you first pick up the item, and then you load it. Like that. And you can do the same thing with the chest too. So you put the item in, you save it, you take it out, and then you load it, and then it's there. And you can put them back in, and then you can keep saving and just to keep doing that over and over. So with that, you'll notice that I mainly duplicate out of chests or off of when I'm killing an entity. And that's because whenever you drop an item, it takes 2 seconds so you can pick it back up again, like that. Or say, if you take it from a chest, it doesn't matter how long it takes because you can always get the item instantly. Or if you just break an item or break a block like a chest or a furnace, you can just pick up the items instantly. Or if you even better, if you kill an entity, it'll take half a second till you drop that or until you pick it up. So with that main duplication glitch out of the way, you can see that I'm duplicating some more here. And then that's when I get the taking inventory achievement. I open my inventory as I'm crafting. The crafting table. And there's a diamond axe right here. And then you'll see that this enderman spawn right here. And this is a common strategy in most TASes. They will just, what we'll do is that we'll find a cave that's within 32 blocks of spawn. It can be closer, but you ideally want it within 32 blocks because an enderman's teleport radius is a 64 block cube around them, so 32 blocks in each direction. So you can say that you have like an enderman down here, an enderman spawns, and then it walks into the water, and then teleports up because it takes damage. Or sometimes the enderman can just teleport without anything. I can play the clip right now. Let me just find it. Actually, the clip is over here, I'm pretty sure. Sometimes it can just teleport without any reason. So if you go back to the TAS Discord, which you guys should definitely join, you can see over here.
Today? Wow. Or almost 200
That arrow
today.
just... What did this arrow? Hello?
What? Oh yeah, I've seen that before.
Oh.
So you can see here that I'm trying to seed search
Hi.
for something here, and you can pay attention to this section. There's no hostile mobs here.
Because of...
Andrew, look, it's so close. Imagine if there's shuriken.
Alright, the server
Oh
crashed.
my god!
Nice.
Imagine if...
And then there's 3 endermen just on top of the surface. And this has happened to many RTA Minecraft speedrunners. So yeah, it's a thing that can happen in the vanilla game. So with that, the enderman is here. And then I use the jump from the axe to get a crit on it. And then I save and quit so that way it doesn't aggro on me. And then I immediately mine this wood with the axe because it's faster, and I need the log for the getting wood achievement. So in the meantime, while I'm waiting for the item to get picked up, I put my items in the chest prematurely. And then as soon as I grab it, I put it in. And this is when I save and quit. And then I grab the items, Alt F4, of course just using the buttons in low TAS. And then I put them back in. So then this duplication is free. And then here's some crafting a crafting table in the crafting table to get benchmarking. And then I craft a diamond pickaxe, a diamond hoe, and a diamond shovel here, and then a diamond sword. And you'll notice that this gets the time to mine, getting an upgrade, time to farm, and time to strike all at the same time. So the thing about these achievements is that these achievements don't actually care which material the pickaxe or a shovel or hoe is. It's just as long as you craft one. And for the getting an upgrade, it just has to be better than a wood pickaxe. So you can craft a gold pickaxe and it will still count towards the achievement. So now that we have those, we are going to crit the enderman with the axe and then swap over to the sword in the same tick because it will register the damage of the axe from the previous tick, but still have the sword cooldown. And then you'll notice I don't take damage here, and that's because of the save and quit. So whenever, I'm sure most of you already noticed, but if you don't, say if you're taking fall, I guess a better example would just be say you're falling down from the sky. If you're in a single player world, you can just save and quit, and then you'll have 3 seconds where you can't take any damage. So, and it also, as a side effect, also resets your velocity too. So you'll notice, so that's why I also kind of hover in the air for a little bit, because my velocity gets reset because I save and quit and I don't take damage. And then I kill the enderman. That gives me the monster hunter achievement. And then remember what I said about how you can duplicate items off entities because they're faster than when a player drops it because of the half a second cooldown. Well, this is what I'm doing here. So I wait for the enderman I wait for the ender pearl to be picked up, but in the meantime I save and quit. Then wait for the ender pearl to pick up, and then as soon as I pick it up right there, that's when I Alt F4 or press the buttons, and then that's how I duplicate the pearls. And that's how it looks like I get 16, 17 pearls off of one enderman. It's really just one pearl duplicated 17 times. Or 16 times, sorry. So I craft 3 buckets, shears, iron blocks, chest, put them in the chest for duplication. So then I build this portal here. I don't actually go through it because I don't have any flint and steel or anything to light the portal with. And I have other things that I need to do before I head to the nether. So I use the shears to mine these leaves over here. Then I get the cobblestone. And while the cobble is flying through the air for me to pick it up, I grab the 2 lava buckets. And then I duplicate this cobble again, because I need to craft a furnace. And then I pearl over to this house over here through the gap. And then I pearl down to reposition myself. And then I throw 3 pearls in very quick succession. So I throw, the first pearl is over in this direction towards the wheat and the sugarcane. And then I throw a second pearl up so that way after I've grabbed those items, I can teleport back here. And then I throw a third pearl in the direction of this house to get the bookshelves. So you can see there's the first pearl going towards the sugarcane. And then the second pearl is up. And then the third pearl is to the house. And then you'll notice that I kind of just pearl through the glass. Now this is very easy because of how the pearls teleport you, of how it teleports you a tick before it lands. You can kind of just, you can just do through any thin block like glass panes or iron panes. You can just face down and you pearl through, and you can kind of just land like in the middle of the glass like this, and you can kind of just walk through like that. So I grabbed the bookshelves for the enchantment table and crafting bookshelves for the achievements later. Organize my inventory. And keep in mind that the second pearl that I threw directly up is still falling. So I have a very small amount of time for me to grab this wheat and grab the sugarcane here. So I grab the wheat there, and then I throw a pearl, grab the sugarcane here for paper and sugar. And as soon as I grab it, like you can see right there, that's when I teleport back. And if you remember how I said about saving, quitting, resetting your velocity, well, ender pearls actually take the velocity of the player, and then the velocity of the player is added to the pearl. So if you're falling down, the velocity of you falling down will be added to the pearl, making it fall faster. So knowing that, I save and quit to reset my velocity to 0 so that I can throw the pearl straight ahead to where this cow is. Instead, it would probably fall into the ravine or hit this block. So I throw that pearl, and then I kill this cow for the leather, and then I milk it at the same time, because you can still milk the cow while it's dying. It just has to be before the model disappears. So there's the cow tipper achievement for a very brief moment. I think it's for literally 1 tick. Yeah, 1 tick because it's 3 frames. So cow tipper from leather, and then I throw a pearl down here, and then I throw a pearl up. So that way, as soon as I'm finished with that, I get immediately teleported up. So then I put a chest here and organize for duplication later. And then you'll notice that there's creeper, witch on the same block, and a spider. And all of these blocks just so happen to have light level 7 or 8. Or, sorry, not light level 7 or 8, light level 7 or 6. It doesn't look like it in the video, but I'm using gamma 5 just for viewability. And there's also the save and quit. So at the same time, I break the iron ore. This witch is here drinking a speed potion, same with the spider. And I use the witch to get redstone, and I use the spider to get string, and I use the creeper to get gunpowder. But I use this creeper to explode and kill the witches. So first I punch them, and then it gets sweeping edge. And then I get the string and the gunpowder, and this creeper just so happens to explode this gravel, which drops flint. Very neat. And then here's the gunpowder from the creeper, and I still have time before the pearl I threw up lands. It should be here in a moment. There it is. So I teleport back, and then get ready to duplicate, put my stuff in the chest, and then I start duplicating the items. So I duplicate wheat, cobble, gunpowder, sugar, string, redstone, because I need this for a bow, I need this for paper and sugar, need this for fireworks, need these for furnaces, need this for bread and for taming and for the cake, and I need this for you will about to see soon. So after this is done, I craft 3 furnaces, a dropper, and then redstone block, 5 redstone torches, and a fishing rod. So I throw the fishing rod, and while that's in the air, I craft my fireworks, and then craft flint and steel. Put the items in the chest because I will be coming back here later. And then I immediately start smelting the iron for the acquire iron achievement. There's no other way to get the achievement other than getting iron out of a furnace in this version. In 1.12, you can just get an iron ingot. And you might be wondering what I'm building here. This is the reason, this machine is the whole reason why this task is able to get to 5 minutes. And I was, the story of this machine is that, so when I created this task, I knew that the upper limit had to be 5 minutes because of the cake, which requires an egg from a chicken. And the chicken can only lay an egg if it's been 5 minutes and it's loaded. So when you're going through other dimensions, such as the nether or end, it will deload the overworld. But one thing you can do to alleviate that is by having the chicken in spawn chunks, which are technically always loaded, but the entities won't be loaded. But redstone will always be loaded in spawn chunks no matter what. So using that, we found out that if you drop an item through another portal, it will load the nether for 2 ticks, but it will load the overworld. It will fully load the overworld for 15 seconds, and those 15 seconds is enough to create a loop where you drop another item and then it keeps loading the overworld, thus making the chicken fully loaded. And because the chicken is fully loaded, even through other dimensions, since redstone is always loaded at spawn chunks, the chicken counter would just keep counting up. And it doesn't matter which direction the item is going through. It just has to be going through the nether portal. So that's what I'm building here. And thank you, Andrew, for making this machine, for making this whole thing possible. Couldn't have done it without you. So now I'm building the portal for this machine to throw the items in. So while I'm waiting for that, I get another fishing rod, but this fishing rod has lure 1 on it. And then I put the fishing rod in, craft bread while I'm waiting, craft beds for explosions, and then I put garbage in for duplication. And you'll notice that this fish appears very quickly relatively to when I threw it. It seems like it was only for about a second, and that's actually right. The minimum time for fishing is 1 minute, or not 1 minute, sorry, 1 second and 1 tick, because we found that since lure decreases your fishing wait time by 5 seconds, and the minimum wait time is 5 seconds, if you have a perfect fish wait of 5 seconds, and you have the lure enchantment, which decreases the waiting time by 5 seconds, it will actually, due to the result in the game's coding, it will actually re-roll the fishing wait again. So you want to have a fishing wait of 1 tick, and that will make it so the fish appears in 1 tick. But it will still take a second for it to get to the bobber, which is the minimum time for it. So you see now we have 1 second and 1 tick fishing, which is the absolute minimum, as long as you have lure, which you can get from a fishing rod. And you know that you can get lure from a fishing rod from fishing because it's within the level 30 enchantment range. If you want to know more about that and what enchantments are possible at the start of a task, I can link the video created by Julia. It's very useful. So with that, I do another 1 second fishing, and you'll notice that I dropped this diamond, because it's going to take 2 seconds for it to be picked up again. So I'm trying to use those 2 seconds as much as I can. So I craft an enchanting table, but I have to wait for my diamond to pick up, because remember, you have to do the achievements in order. So I get the enchanting table, get the bookshelf for the librarian, and then I start duplicating items for use in the dropper to use for the infinite loop. So now the portal is lit, and there's a tick. And there's actually a tick that you can open the GUIs and interact with them while you're inside the portal. So that's what I use here. I use the 1 tick to get the glass out. And then I repeatedly use this 1 tick windows to hotkey obsidian into the dropper. So now I'm waiting here. And then I throw the pearl here because that's the closest that the mobs can spawn. And then I mine the soul sand. Get the soul sand. And then you'll see here I place the blade, save and quit. And then there's a skeleton here for arrows. And then a pigment here for gold ingots, blaze rod for blaze rod, and a wither skull for wither skeletons. And you have to punch all of these mobs to get kill credit, otherwise when, say, they explode by bed or by something else, they will not drop their loot. So that's why you have to punch them and then explode the bed. So then I punch them, I explode the bed, and then I save and quit so that way I don't fly away from the bed explosion, because it resets my velocity. And you can see there's the wither skull, the gold ingots, the arrows, and the blaze rod up here. So now I organize my inventory, and then you'll see that the skeleton is back here. And if you're wondering what this bow has on it, this bow has power 4 because that's the maximum that you can get at the start of a world, like I said, from the level 30 enchants. And you'll notice that it actually one-hits the skeleton back there. And because there's a small chance for a critical hit from a bow, if the bow is fully loaded with power 4 and you get a critical hit, it deals 11 hearts of damage, which is more than enough to kill the skeleton. So that's how I get that. The sniper duel, and then the gas spawns down here in the meantime. And then you can actually see this is where the obsidian first ends up before the nether is loaded. So here is the return to sender achievement. And then I also get the gas here for end crystals, as well as some additional gunpowder. So now I'm bridging over to create this portal. And now I'm just waiting. And then this portal will send me to here in the overworld. And then I do some duplication and crafting, craft Ice of Ender for Ender chests and end crystals. So now I'm duplicating here. And then I craft gold pickaxes because I need a mine in the nether because it's fast and diamond pickaxes. And an ender chest and end crystals. So now I duplicate those. And I also take the glass for the beacon. And now I use the one tick window to organize my inventory because I want to do that while I'm waiting for something. And you'll notice that here, that I'm actually kind of in a wall and my lava bucket is gone. Now, why is that? Now, the first glitch is the wrong warp glitch. So if you're going through another portal, like say I'm going through the other portal that was over here, or I think it was down here. So it was down here that and you'll take a notice that my coordinates are 128 and 170. Or I actually forget what the exact coordinates are of where the another portal was, but if you Alt F4 as you're transferring through a dimension, the game will take your coordinates of the previous dimension and load it into your new dimension. So my coordinate, if I'm going through another portal, if I Alt F4 at the same time while I'm going through, was just when like the loading terrain icon is, then these coordinates will be the same into the nether. So that's how I use that to get to large distances, and it's going to be repeated throughout the task. And as for the lava bucket being gone, that is because where the stronghold portal is, I remember how I said to take a look at the location here. Well, the location is in the Mesa Plateau, and then the swampland and roof forest biomes. And I need to be on the surface for those. But if the stronghold portal is deep into the ground, then there's no way that I can get to the top of the surface very quickly unless I pearl spam or I dig up, both of which are very slow. Now, if you use a lava bucket to break the portal as you go through, you'll still be teleported through, but the portal will break, allowing you to remake another portal. So, or it'll allow you to remake another portal without leading into the same location. So now that I've wrong warped into the nether, I use the gold pickaxe to mine out the terrain. And then now I'm just waiting to get transferred into the stronghold. And then I immediately throw this pearl, and then I break this portal because remember how I need to go to the surface. Need to break that portal. And then pearl into the roof, and then I'm entering the end. Getting the end achievement, but you can't see it because of save states. And then I'm crafting minecart for on a rail and powered rails as well, and throwing out some garbage. And you can see the enchantments of the fishing rod here. I'm just kind of fooling around, and I'll just let this play out because I need to wait for the dragon to charge. I think I maybe missed a frame of the GUI, but I'm not entirely sure. And you can see here that once this dragon charges, the dragon charges differently in 1.11 compared to 1.12 and other versions. In 1.12, the dragon actually does not deal damage when it's charging into the fountain like this, which you can see that is utilized by Razorix to his advantage to kill the dragon within 3 crystals. Because the dragon, I do something similar here, but because the dragon deals damage, I need to do it a little bit differently. So I explode that crystal first, and then I take damage, which is around the same time that the dragon takes damage. And then I wait a little bit, and then the dragon gets down to half health because I explode the other crystal. You can see that it hasn't fully stopped yet, which is a mechanic that I utilize to get these 2 extra crystal hits for free. And if you want a better explanation, I will link the video from Raceworks in the description. So there's the 3rd crystal, and then this dragon is now within range of dying. and I explode the 4th crystal, and he's dead. Or she's dead. Now I'm kind of just waiting for the dragon to die. And then I throw a pearl towards the end fountain, and then I throw a pearl towards the end gateway as well. Now, what I did here is a pearl hang. Pearl hangs are used when you want to hold a pearl in a location to save it for later. So say because I'm in spawn chunks, it won't necessarily work right now. But the idea is that you say I want to throw a pearl towards the savanna plateau and the plains, but I want to go to the savanna plateau later. So what I would do is that I would throw this pearl and throw the other pearl, and then, or I should have done it in the other order actually. But I would throw this pearl in this direction, then throw the pearl there, and then as soon as the first pearl lands, I would decrease my render distance because when pearls cannot fall unless they are rendered. So decreasing the render distance deloads the pearl, freezing it in place until you want to teleport again. Of course, it won't work here because I'm in spawn chunks, but it should work across most of the world. So that's what I do here. I deload the pearl that's falling into the fountain by going out 1,000 blocks, which deloads the pearl and freezes it. So now I am near this end gateway. I boost the pearl using end crystal along with save and quits. Now, I also forgot to mention that during the dragon fight, I can't save and quit because the dragon's position will reset to the top if you save and quit. So that's why I had to take damage. And that's also why I had to place head hitters and place crystals in really weird ways. So now, you might be wondering what's happening here. Why there's 4 end crystals instead of just 1. Well, this distance actually isn't enough for a pearl to make it with a single end crystal boost, or even 2. Now, it's only in this version that when you have 4 end crystals, the crystals won't actually function like in later versions. In later versions, say I have an end crystal and then obsidian. Say I have these 2 right here. If you explode 1, it will kill the other crystal. So, and the explosions won't be stacked. So that's how it is in versions above 1.12, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So like say if you throw a pearl, it will be as if there's only 1 crystal here. Even you can place as many crystals as you want, but it will act as if there's only 1. Versus in 1.11, the explosions will stack. So I can use that to my advantage here. So by using 4 crystals, I can explode it, and you can see I instantly get boosted a whole lot more versus if it was just 1. So now I use that to boost the pearl crazy high, and while that first pearl is flying, I deload it with the pearl hang, and then I throw another pearl towards the direction of the gateway. I boost it, and then after that I reload this pearl by increasing the render distance, and then I deload it again. There's a lot of pearl hangs in this end segment, and then I break the glass, I pearl through, and then I taking this potion in and out of the local brewery, or out of the brewing stand to get local brewery. A thing about local brewery is that you don't actually have to grab a potion from the brewing stand. You can literally just put it in and take it out, and you'll still get the achievement. So that's what I do here. I use an already loaded brewing stand from an end ship to get the achievement. Here's where I get the elytra, and now I reload the pearl so it can continue to fall and get diamonds and gold. And then organize my inventory while I'm waiting. And then now I teleport here, do a final end crystal boost. And then I pearl into this gateway, which is 1,000 blocks from the main island, which will count towards the honor rail achievement. Now, if you've already seen Mark Lucas's task, you will see him do the same technique, but he just has to bridge a little bit because the gateway is a little bit too close. Here, I don't have to do that because the gateway is more than 1,000 blocks out. So, basically the idea is that since the achievement only requires that you ride 1,000 blocks, you can sit in a minecart, be teleported with the minecart 1,000 blocks, and it will still count. You can't exit the minecart at all during this time. or save and quit because it resets the counter. So that's why I have to wait here. So there it is on a rail, and then the first pearl lands from before I went to this end city, and then as I'm falling, I open my elytra and I start flying into the end portal. There's the end achievement right there, and then I pearl up because I need to get to this river biome and get to the savanna plateau biome. And then it's important to mention that the biomes that I gained at this time are desert hills, savanna, and plains, I'm pretty sure. Oh, and the mesa biome because of the stronghold. So I throw the pearl, and then during this time, I use it to light the nether portal. I place down the chest and ender chest, which I will use later. And then I grab some materials here. And during this time, I'm fishing for an efficiency book, and I grab a water bucket. So as soon as I fish that up, I fall and I start flying towards the savanna plateau. Gets it counted here. Teleport back. There's the efficiency 4 book for duplication. And then I place this water here so I can fish while I'm waiting for a smite book. So now I craft an anvil to combine the enchantments. Place stuff that I will need later, which is the soul sand iron, iron blocks, wither skull, and glass, because I need those for the beacon wither. I will do this later. And during the meantime, while I'm waiting, I renamed the pickaxe to Mark Lucas, combine the enchantment. And then I get this smite book, which is, I think it's smite 5. Combine the efficiency book with the shovel, name it to Lud. And then lastly, combine the sword with the smite book to get Andrew, FPL. And these are all very prominent tasks, which I'm sure you've heard of. And that's why I wanted to rename it here, because it also doesn't really lose that much time, especially in this run, because I'm limited by a timer anyway. And what I'm doing here is that, remember how I said that you can't duplicate out of ender chest? That's why I put this other chest over here. So now I put only the essential materials that I need in this chest so that I can duplicate it for later. And then I also get a saddle for the pigs achievement, which I will get later. So now, because I'm going to be dying a lot in this task, I need to prematurely have this chest saved, and then as soon as I grab the chest, I need to load it and then save it again, so that these items will basically be in the chest forever. So you can see right here, I already have this chest saved. I take it out, I load it, but I don't take the items out because that was for the next session when I get back. And then here's the 1 tick ender chest of me grabbing a torch, which will be utilized soon in the run. Here's just me messing around. Get teleported into the nether. I pearl into the obsidian wall to fall faster instead of jumping. A little bit of a micro optimization there. And then I fly towards the jungle biome sets. So here is where I use the torch. And if you've seen MS sub 30 tasks, then you already know what happens here. But if you don't know, then just by jumping normally, you cannot normally place a block on top of here. So what we do is that we place a torch. Since you can place on top of a torch from a jump, it's very tight, but you can do it. You can see right there is where I'm placing on top of the torch, whereas where my aim goes above the torch. So that's where you can place the obsidian in a single jump. And using that, you can build crazy fast portals that look like this. Literally in about a second. Or say if you don't have a torch, you can just pearl into the portal, which is what I do later. So now I'm throwing away the obsidian. And then also, if you're wondering where that obsidian came from, that is from the loading machine up at the first nether portal up here. So that's just been constantly going. So now I get into position to get ready to teleport. As soon as I go through here, I teleport into the grass block, fall, and then I start flying. And then here's where I get the jungle edge biome, because that's where the portal is. Jungle edge, and then I get the jungle biome right here as I fly over through these grass blocks. And then jungle hills is where these leaf blocks are over here. So I get those, and then that's the jungle set of biomes done. Now I'm flying towards a forest biome, not this one. This is Forest Hills. But the forest biome is over here. I die because that's the quickest way to get back to spawn without having to fly back. And this is the first case of me having to use the chest that I duplicated earlier. So because I loaded the items before I went into the portal, these items will already be here. So now I just need to save the items again and then load it and then repeat. So I save the items as soon as I go through, and then I load it again right here. And then I'm going on to the next set of biomes, which should be the stronghold biomes. So now I'm over here to do a wrong warp. And then, so now I grab the fishing rod and the saddle from here. Fishing rod there, saddle there, messing around here. Here's another wrong warp. Here's me messing around again. And this is why I needed to break the portal that was in the stronghold, because if I didn't break that portal, this portal would be linked to the stronghold, and that would be bad. So now, because this portal's on the surface, you can see again, I pearl into the wall here. Fly, I throw a pearl into the root forest, and you notice that this fireworks going off here. That's an artifact of me saving and quitting, and the reason why I save and quit there is to reset the pearl cooldown. So because of that, remember how my velocity is reset, the firework is just kind of going there. So then I use another firework here, save and quit, throw a pearl towards the swampland and where the pigs are. And then I fly towards this mesa plateau, and then I decrease for a series of pearl hangs, and then reload it again to make it fall. So as soon as I touch this mesa plateau F biome, I teleport into the swampland, getting this biome. And there's pigs over here. And then I use the fishing rod along with my velocity from the firework to pull the pig up instead of having to dig down to make it fall. So you can see I pull it, and then while the pearl is flying through the air, I sit on this pig, and then there it is, the one pigs fly, because it needs to at least 5 blocks to fall to get the achievement. There's the one pigs fly. And then as soon as I get the root forest, I explode myself with an end crystal. There it is. So now there's only about 2 sets of biomes left, which is just the mushroom biomes, 3 sets. The cold set of biomes, the mushroom biomes, and the birch set of biomes, as well as the extreme hills. So duplicate a chest again. And then I start flying towards, I think this is the this is the extreme hills and birch forest biomes. So you can see me, because I don't have a torch here, I use a pearl instead. So I pearl into this wall to get a little bit more height, and during that time I'm able to barely place this block. So now waiting. Another wrong warp here. Then this is Birch Forest Hills right here. And I throw a pearl towards Extreme Hills Plus over here, to where this little tree is over here. And over here is where the Extreme Hills and Stone Beach biomes are. So this one is I think this one is Extreme Hills, and then walking towards this stone block over here, which is Stone Beach. There it is. I'm directly above it, in case you didn't see. And then there's Extreme Hills Plus. And then here's another death. And then another duplicated chest. And now I'm going to the mushroom biomes, which I can't fly to in the overworld, so I have to fly to it in the nether. That's the fastest way, because getting to the portal via flying in the nether is faster than trying to wrong warp to the coordinates. So flying through, it's a bit choppy, but I just don't think I've rendered this in Premiere Pro yet. So I mean, it's fine. I use the same trick again with the pearl to get this done in a single jump. Breaking the flint steel because I have it duplicated anyway, so it doesn't matter. Wasting fireworks too. And then this is Mushroom Island right here. and then I spawn into a Mushroom Island shore, or fly over this Mushroom Island shore, which is this little coastline here. And then I fly, I think it's 10 blocks out to get Deep Ocean. And then I get the ocean biome right here, this set of grass blocks. And then there's another death to get back to spawn. And I think that was that set of biomes is literally less than like 2 seconds. So now I need doors, craft trapdoors for use later. And then I am organizing my inventory by getting diamonds and putting away stuff. And now I'm going to the final set of biomes. So now flying through. And then I'm mining into the wall here. And then I spawn to the beach biome here. And then I fly here towards this. I think this is the Mega Taiga set. This is Mega Taiga and Mega Taiga Hills. Because of the podzol, you can see that. And then I throw a pearl towards the Ice Plains, Ice Mountains, Frozen River set of biomes over here. This little hill right here, along with over here. That's where the first pearl goes. So I'm going to use another series of pearl hangs. And this is going to be towards the Cold Beach and Cold Taiga, where that little fern is, which if you can barely see that. And then the last set of biomes, which is the Cold Taiga biomes over here, as well as the regular Taiga biomes. So, and during those times, I fly down and I start digging. I throw a pearl up because this is going to be the final spot where I need to get diamonds to you. So this is Cold Taiga Hills right here. And then I pearl down. I think this is Taiga or Taiga Hills. I forget which one, as well as the other Mega Taiga biome. I think this is Mega Taiga Hills right here. And the first pearl lands. This is Ice Plains, the block that I'm standing on. You can't see it, but I'm standing on Ice Plains. And then as soon as I jump, I cross into Frozen River. And then I throw a pearl towards this Ice Mountains here. Yes, that counts as Ice Mountains. So those are the cold set biomes. And then I walk into Cold Taiga, this little grass block here. And then I walk back out to get Cold Beach. And then I refresh the game to get Adventuring Time. So now I'm waiting for the final portal load, which is right here, because I need to dig to the dungeon. So that's why I also have the efficiency enchantments, and this is why I craft the trapdoors to block off the water. So now I'm mining down. And then since dropping items again takes 2 seconds if dropped by a player, I use that to my advantage. Drop a diamond here so that as soon as I fall down, the zombie can instantly pick it up. So I place down an ender chest, grab the notch apple here, which you can barely see, and then the zombie picks that up, place that in the ender chest, and then there's the final death of the run. And that's Adventuring Time. That's all biomes as well as diamonds to you. Now the only thing left is to breed together cows for the repopulation achievement, getting the Beaconator achievement, which is done through the Wither, and crafting the cake. So now I do one final duplication here to get the necessary amount of skulls and soul sand, as well as the blocks for the beacon, and some glass for crafting the beacon. So now I use the fireworks from the elytra, and I also need to eat the notch apple too. And get my cooked fish, which is actually an achievement. So now I get the cooked fish for delicious fish, and then I breed this cow while I'm throwing the pearl. You can see it goes from 9 meat to 8 here. And then there's the other cow, and during this time I am spawning the wither because I think it takes around like 10 or 20 seconds for it to, from the time it spawns to until it starts being active. So during that time, there's more than enough time to start building the beacon, which is done over here. So now I'm building this beacon. And there's the repopulation achievement. Now all that's left to do is kill the wither, eat the notch apple, and craft the cake. And build and craft the beacon. So now I build a little hub for myself. I save and quit right before I load the bow. And then so as soon as it goes, I shoot it, and then it starts aggroing on me, and then it starts flying up into the air. And because end crystals deal damage based on the level you are from the crystal, if you are a block below the crystal, then it will barely do any damage, or it'll do reduced damage. But if you are on the same level as the crystal or above, it'll do full damage. So I use that to deal crazy damage to the wither in timely fashion. And then I get the overkill achievement here from Smite 5 from Andrew. And then I kill it with an end crystal again, right there. Here's the nether star that drops. And then while I'm waiting for the nether star to be picked up, I throw a pearl towards the beacon. And then I craft the beacon and eat the notch apple at the same time. And then grab some more materials, just craft a shield just for fun, just because I'm waiting, and a hopper too. And then there's the Beaconator achievement. Now all this needs to do is to wait for the chicken, because surprisingly after all that, I still have about 8 seconds left. And because the overworld was fully loaded from the beginning to the end, at least since I craft the machine, this chicken has always been loaded. So now I'm just waiting, messing around. I push the chicken into where the hopper is to instantly grab the egg. So this idea had been come up with Rich Connor to grab items faster. So I used it in the task. Now I'm waiting here. I will just unpause this because it's a very long wait in task time. And there's the egg. As soon as I pick it up, I craft the cake as fast as I can, get the final achievement of the run, and that is time as soon as the chat message shows up, which should be right there. And that is as close as you can get to the perfect time in all achievements. There may be a time that you can get faster by, I don't know, obtaining the egg faster, but there's literally not a way to craft that cake faster. So I think the only way is if somehow you're able to grab the egg earlier, but I think this is probably the final frontier for all achievements tasks. So now I'm kind of showing off here with the custom shield from Low TAS. Thank you, Scribble. And you can see here of me doing one final check of all the achievements. Right here, show you that everything is done, no hidden achievements. And that is it. I hope you guys had a great day, and I will see you guys in the next task.